Hey guys, thanks for being here. Happy Saturday. I'm wearing my Sooners jersey because my Sooners are playing Texas today. Cotton Bowl Classic, otherwise known as OU Texas, or Texas OU if you live in Austin, OU Texas if you live in Norman. All right, guys. Well, we're outside today. Because of the data. I mean, well, I have but anyway, we'll see. If it doesn't work, we'll have to shut it down and go inside. But I'd really like to do it outside today. Really like to do it outside. Okay, we're going to do the top 20 list, and then you can ask me about specific stocks. We can look at other stuff. Also, it's hard to see out here. I didn't really factor in this computer's an indoor computer. It has a glossy screen. Not a good outdoor laptop. Anyway, I'll do my best. All right. Getting ready to do the top 20. Now, this is based on the max factor, just for those of you that don't know. There I was making my thumbnail. The max factor is my own proprietary metric, and we look at these virtually every day on the show. But I measure conventional old Wall Street. TradFi doesn't have a good measurement for these high yield funds, a good metric. The best one that there is, though, that they have is total return, in my opinion. But yield is very deceiving. I wanted to make something that incorporates the yield, but that also factors in the total return. I mean, that's a better indicator, and I think this is one. And I've come up with one. I've researched it, and it's been through many iterations, and you guys have been around the block with me on this. I mean, we've had lots of max factors, but the latest one is the permanent max factor. So I had Claude make me an infographic. So we always start with the short term and then do the long term. The short term max factor is the max factor. I put the long term in also because a lot of these haven't been around for a year. So I'm going to check back to the comments and let me know. Can you guys hear me? Is it cutting out? Good morning. Yeah. Good morning, Dividend Degenerate, Bravest. Thank you for being here. Durzo, thank you so much for being here. Okay. So I guess you guys can hear me. I'm not seeing any back comments. All right. And I've got the screen shared. I'm just trying to make sure. I have my phone with me. Somebody text me if something screws up. All right. Because I can barely see the screen. Okay. So here we go. So the short-term max factor, this is the max factor. So we do this first. This is the list. The long-term is cool also, and we'll do that second. And then we can look at whatever you want. Okay, here's the other caveat. For some reason, AI is not going to be able to take over the world. They couldn't even understand. I tried like 3 times to tell them I wanted the list to count down from 20 to 1. And they just, no matter how I told them, they started on 19. It says reveal, but it doesn't reveal anything. I can't even see that. Can you guys? Oh, no, look. Yeah. They don't show us reveal 20. And I tried like 3 different times. I said, no, you need to start on 20. Anyway. All right. So who knows which one it was? We can look at that afterwards. All right. Number 19, MSFY. So this thing, based on Microsoft, and it's by, who's this one by? MSFY is Curves version, right? I should have had that. I put that on there too. GPIX from our friends over at Goldman Sachs. This one doesn't pay a very high yield, but does decent on average return. I know a lot of you guys like this one, Triple QI. This one does a little better on yield, and it pays a decent yield. And but it also has a decent average return. In fact, it's a little bit better than GPIX, at least this week. Well, not this week. This is measuring the past quarter. So, I mean, this is the max factor, so it's kind of a short-term trading index. But yeah, Triple QI, that's about the 17th best risk-adjusted reward this quarter. Number 16, Hui. This one's a monster. I'm really kind of surprised this one's so low, but oh well. Okay, number 15. This one's been eggs from Nest Yield has been picking up a lot of traction lately. Eggs and Eggy, especially Eggy. And I had done a show on it a long time ago when it first came out and promised to do a follow-up, and I haven't followed up. But there's one coming soon. But in any event, eggs is paying a yield of about 11%, and it has about, I literally can't see that. And the NAV's up 6% on the quarter. The volatility is important too, and it's another factor, and it's probably part of the reason Hui is so low. I mean, because, you have to factor in it. This measures risk-adjusted reward, right? You don't want a fund that pays you 1,000%, but is down 99, can go from down 99% to up 199%. In other words, I wouldn't want a fund that's super volatile, no matter how much you paid, if there's a chance that I could lose all my money in one day. And that's not going to happen with eggs, ETFs, for a multitude of reasons, but it's not as likely to happen with eggs for a multitude of reasons. The way to measure that is with my volatility metric. All right, let's go for number 13. Bobo, okay. Now this one's benefited from the tariffs, I have heard. I'm going to try to go all weekend without mentioning the tariffs. So anyway, quarterly NAV return, not that great, but it was doing a lot better until yesterday, to be fair, and a lot of them were. It's still a good fund, yielding 72%, sky high volatility. What you going to do, right? I mean, the single stocks almost by definition are going to be more volatile than the ones that are the portfolios. So, do your own research. All right, this is the one that always gets on here with an asterisk because they paid a special dividend for some reason at the end of last year. They don't really pay that yield, so just disregard that. I mean, that one's a good one, but it yields 6%. So if you factor in, you're just looking at the other stuff we've looked at, if you factor in yielding 6% with an average return of 2%, a one-year total return of 8.16%, it ain't going to sniff this list. I mean, really, I've thought about changing anyway, that one's always on there with an asterisk. So we don't have 20 and we really don't have that one either. Not a bad fund. It's actually an all right fund, but just the numbers on it, I don't have anything against Global X, but it just doesn't give you that good of risk-adjusted reward, in my opinion. All right. This computer's getting really hot too. I mean, because it's in the sun, I know, but hang on here. Hang on. Let's try to go like right here. The problem is the chair situation isn't good right here. All right. Tesla. Now Tesla's Tesla, but I mean, it's really, hang on a second. Tesla has really been enjoying its moment lately, hasn't it? It had its moment around the time of the election, but it's having it again. Anyway, 106% yield, with a better NAV return than XYLG. Now, granted, the volatility sky high, but anyway, okay, that's fine. Single stock, what do you expect? XYLG is based on the S&P. It's like I say, it's not a bad fund. It can work. I mean, I'll say I like XYLG better than XYLD, which is the other one from Global X, the one that everyone knows about that pays 12%. XYLG does a lot better on NAV. XYLD is a bad NAV situation. I know there's a lot of people that like the W series. They pay about half the yield, and they get more return. They use 20% per month, or no, per week. Not even per day. The 20% per week is that's like 5% per day. That's not. They use just a teeny bit of leverage. Anyway, they've been doing really well. Not so much. Not yesterday, but anyway, nothing that was leveraged or single stock based did well yesterday. Was a disaster. Okay, now blocks. Blocks is a good one. Its yield is down to 28. It had been in the 30s. That's fine though. It's volatile, but not as volatile as a lot of other stuff. But the NAV return, and that's, it's still 14.9. It was doing a lot better, but anyway, so that's one of my favorites. I really wanted to pick that in the draft yesterday. I don't know if Amy got it or the other girl got it. What's her name? Yield and Grace. Anyway. I forgot her real name, though. Rachel. All right. Those girls were getting it. Those girls were talented. Now, Amy's a smart cookie. All right. GUI, look at GUI. Now, GUI's based on Google, so Google's kind of also had its moment this quarter, kind of like Tesla lately, for sure. Google's definitely having its moment. This one, as far as a single stock goes, is a little less volatile. You know? All right. AMDY. Wow, would you look at that one? All right. It's not a big surprise. You want to talk about having your moment. And that's even after the big pullback the other day. This thing is just, I mean, up 16% on NAV for the quarter. And I'm going to say, why is this not number one? And it's because it's one of those ones that, you know, that just goes way up, way fast, and way down, way fast. It can be good too. It's not, volatility is neither bad nor good. It's just a measurement. All right, reveal number 7, GDXY. I like that one, of course. You guys know that. Kind of got my feelings hurt. It dropped 10% the other day, and it dropped the day before the market dropped. Part of it was the distribution coming out, but not enough. It dropped on its own, probably half of that. So, well, no, the distribution's 44%, you know, if you annualize it. So what is that, 4% a month? Is that right? Yeah. 12, 24, 36, 48, 3.5% a month, something like that, 3 3/4. So it dropped 10%, 3 3/4 on average would have been the distribution coming out. So the rest was actually the stock down. And if you look at GDX or GLD or any gold was in general down the day before the market pullback. I wonder if gold knew the market. I wonder if gold's a leading asset, kind of like we look at crypto. The crypto definitely was a leading asset. And it has been lately, and it's especially true during the Trump administration. All right, number 6, Goop. Okay, once again, this is based on Google. It's a curve-based fund. Compared to GUI, look, GUI has a 25 vol. Goop has a 19 vol. And I think everyone would agree that Goop is less volatile than GUI. But the problem with Goop is it only pays a 16% yield. GUI pays a 42% yield. Should we have our first battle royale? Let's do it. Let's do the battle. I don't know if I can see the battlefield today, but I think I can now. All right, Goop and GUI. Goop and GUI. Let's just look back. We'll just look since inception. We know how they've done this quarter because we're looking at the quarterly. I mean, obviously, Goop's going to probably do better. But let's just look since inception and see how they've protected your capital and other stuff. And of course, we know the answer already because we know the volatility ranking. That anyway. All right. Well, either one of them would be fine. Compound your money at 20% in Curve, 26% if you had Curve, but you compounded your gains at 13.8 in GUI. I mean, not bad either way, All right. Let's look at the next one, which is number 5. Number 5 is SLVO, one that I need to look into, or I need to look into anything silver-based. This one is a good one, and it's usually close. It's usually in the top 10, well, especially lately. And you want to talk about having your moment. Gold and silver have really been having their moment. But I guess really everything has been. But I'm really thinking especially Tesla, Google, and AMD. Those are the, but it's silver and gold also. So they say a rising tide lifts all ships. I mean, all right. I don't even know who's Silvo. I should know whose fund that is, but I don't. Anyway, low volatility, quarterly NAV return of 10% with an 18% yield. Heck yes, Silvo. All right, number 4, K Gold. Once again, gold, precious metals, same volatility, 11.6, 11.4. You know what here's the way I think of volatility, the way that I did that measurement. So something has a 50 vol. That means it wouldn't be surprising for it to be up 50% in a year or down 50%. Or something has a 10 vol, like the SPY, or a 15 vol. That means it wouldn't be surprised. You wouldn't be surprised. SPY's up 10 or 15%. That wouldn't surprise you. Even 20 or 30%. That wouldn't surprise you. But you wouldn't expect the SPY to be up 60%. Or if it could be, but that would be an outstanding outlier of a year. So, that's the way I interpret it. So these ones that have like an 80, and a 70 and 80 vol and stuff, those are literally the ones like APLD and the ones that are just the riskiest, that are either going to be, a 10 bagger for you or back to being a penny stock. So, volatility matters, but it's, it's up to you to make your own decision. Adding gold and silver is a good way to balance out some of your high volatile tech stocks like Tesla and Goop, or Goop's not really that volatile, but like Tesla and AMD and stuff. AMD's the most volatile one we've seen yet. Now, part of that's because it's just been going up so much lately. Volatility, like I say, is good on the upside, bad on the downside. All right. TS2, of course, this is REX shares. REX shares is doing great. They use a synthetic type approach. They do a half and half thing with a little bit of leverage. It's these guys are a mix between YieldMax and Round Hill, in my opinion. And they're increasing in popularity, getting a lot of NAV upside, but most of that's due to Tesla, of course. But TS2, should we compare TS2 and Tesla? Well, let's do TS2 and TSLW since inception. Now, TS2 hasn't been around that long. I really mean TSII. You guys probably know that. I heard somebody else say that, and I just thought it sounded cool. So, me at my age, I'm trying anything I can possibly do to sound cool. It usually doesn't work, but I'm trying my hardest. I mean, to sound young. I mean, anyway. All right. So, since inception, two's ahead. Let me make sure that's not okay. I'll turn that off. I was going to make sure that wasn't one of you guys saying I wasn't sharing the screen or that the broadcast is cutting in and out. All right. The thing that's also impressive about TS2 is not that it's just finished ahead. I mean, that's great, and it's not that much. 26, that's pretty good. Actually, it is a lot. What's impressive to me is that it's been ahead the whole time. I mean, it's spanking it. And they both use a little bit of leverage, but TS2 it does a half and half type approach. Anyway, all right. Well, I mean, it looks like either of those you'd be happy with. I guess we ought to run it against TSLP just to be fair. Well, TSLY also. We'll run it against curve. We'll just kind of look at the Tesla ones. Or Tesla ones. All right, of course, TS2, but you can see, unlike the other one, it hasn't been spanking TSLP the whole time. TSLP's been holding close until recently, and then TS2 pulled ahead. So we'll check it out one more time with Tesla and Tesla's from YieldMax. I think they've all three been on the thing. So you can see Tesla's kind of the furthest behind and was catching up with it for a little while, but then fell behind pretty soon. That's one of my friends pulling up. Gosh darn it. Hang on. Gosh darn it. I'm going to go tell him I'm doing a live stream. I can't tell. No. Yeah, I told him I was on a live stream and I come shoot the breeze with him in a little bit. All right. Let's see. Now, what do we have next? Jackson. Knock it off. Jackson. He'll calm down. Okay. Number 3. So we'll do number 2, then we'll review the list so far, and then do the big reveal. Number 2 is iGold. Okay, kind of keeping with the theme, volatility of iGold. Okay, we're going to have to do iGold and KGold. There's no way around it. There is no way around comparing iGold and KGold. And I know that's something, I believe that's something a lot of you guys are interested in as well. So, and I am too, because I really am going to diversify from GDXY. Jackson, get over here. I'm getting rid of some GDXY and I'm going to add some type of other precious metals in its place, or partially in its place. So it looks like I'm doing KGold, right? I mean, they're both good. Actually, iGold's ranked ahead on my own metric. iGold has less volatility. You know, the yield of iGold, what's that? 13, I can barely see that. The yield of KGold is that 18? Is that yield up? Oh, no, that's quarterly NAV return, yield 10. Well, anyway, okay, more yield, less NAV return. You guys, same story every time. It looks like either would be all right. All right, so let's go back and real quick. We don't know who 20 was, and AI is definitely not going to take over the world if they can't even make a top 20 countdown. At least Claude's not going to take over the world. Maybe something else will. Maybe Grok will. I don't know. All right. MSFY, GPIX, Triple QI, and number 17, Hui, and number 16, Super Volatile. What hurt Hui, because I know I'm going to get probably, but what hurt Hui is the NAV return. And that probably happened. Most of that happened the other day. It was a lot higher last week. Okay. Anyway, we have eggs, number 15. We have Bobo, XYLG with an asterisk, Tesla, TSLW, Blocks, one I really like a lot, GUI, AMD, GDXY, Goop, Silvo, based on silver, K-Gold, based on gold, TS2, based on Tesla, iGold, based on gold, numero uno. Jackson, just calm down. It's okay. TSLP. I guess we've already done the battle royale because remember, I didn't realize it was number one. So, TSLP, the thing about TSLP is it trades at a 33 vol instead of a 41 vol. But it still means these things, you wouldn't be surprised to be up or down, 33% in the year or more on total return. But that's kind of like a decent year. But you can understand then why the ones that are 50 or above, because that literally means in a year you could lose half your money, like you did in Tesla a few years ago. You lost 80% of your money in a year or something. It just means it's more that kind of stock. All right, guys, let's do the long-term max factor. I'm going to look at the comments real quick and make sure you guys are all right. Make sure you guys aren't fighting in the comment section. We'll look at Alti. We'll pull Alti. I know Alti didn't make the list. It makes me mad. I guess it'll be on the long-term list. But audio is a little crackly. I'm sorry. Well, is it still doing it, or how can you hear me now? Is it still should close some tabs? Audio's bad. Gosh darn it. No, it's because I'm outside. Gosh darn it. Okay. And the tabs won't help, but I will. But it's because I'm outside. That's the one tab I needed open. But anyway, hang on. If you want, I can go inside to my normal office and do this. It's just because I'm too far away from the router, but I brought the Wi-Fi extender and as I can get it. Anyway, I'm sorry, guys. But I do this all the time, and it's the tabs, and it's really not the tabs. The computer's fine. It's my connection. That's the one tab I needed open too. I just closed it. All right, so here we go with the long-term max factor. All right, now I'm going to go back to the comments, and I'm going to see how bad the audio is. If it's still bad. Still crackling. Okay, and that's at 10:45. All right. I'll just go inside. All right, guys. It'll take me about 5 minutes to get my stuff inside. I'll talk to you later. We'll do the